All right, out here working on the Turbo Camaro today. Pretty much got the parachute all done. Definitely got it done enough for testing, but just wanted to show you guys a few things of what I did. And I'm gonna make some changes, I'm sure, but this is gonna be perfect for testing how I have it. So one thing is you wanna make sure when you cut your cable that this black part cannot pull into the rope and get caught. So I've got this one cut perfect. Is right now this cable cannot go any more that direction, so it'll never get caught. And we have like a good 1.5 inches of engagement. So that worked out perfect. Now the other thing is you want your cable itself, the black part, to be pinched or locked in place. Right now I'm actually using the deck lid to lock that in place. This cable will not move. If that doesn't work for you, they actually make a bracket at Motion Raceworks that comes off these back 4 holes, comes off the side and holds the cable. It'd actually be tucked in a lot tighter, but it'll hold the cable there. For us, this is the route I went. Like I said, I just shut the deck lid, pinches it. I'm gonna open it and show you guys. So it's literally just pinched right there in the seal. It's tied down right here to the roll bar, and I just followed this line. That way I know anytime I shut the deck lid, as long as I keep this straight with that line, my cable link's going to be perfect. The deck lid pinches it. Now I can say it does kick the deck lid up probably about a 1/16 of an inch, maybe even 1/8 on this side. So this isn't going to be a permanent solution for me, but I can't decide where I want to have the cable come through. Most likely I'll end up drilling a hole through here and running it through the body right there. But for right now, I really didn't want to do that. And this way, when the car's sitting in storage or what, I'm just not going to have the deck lid latched, which I normally don't because I run a battery tender through the trunk anyways. So that doesn't affect me. But the nice thing with doing it about this way is when I'm on the street, I literally just take the cable, curl it up in the trunk, nothing exposed. I pull the chute bolt for the receiver side off, and you'll never know this car had a parachute on it. Put the license plate back on. There's no exposed cable. There's no holes in the back of the car. The license plate covers up the hole in the bumper, as you can see there. So this way it kind of just gives it even more of that stealth mode where you would never know it had a parachute or has a parachute for this car. So I like this way for a temporary method. I don't know that I'm going to keep it this way long term, but this will work out perfect for testing. All in all, this went pretty well. It's always a little bit tricky getting the parachute back in there. I do need to pull it completely out and repack it, but it is packed pretty good right now. I mean, it is completely usable the way it's packed right now, but I would like to kind of pack it a little bit better. I got the lower tether, it's kind of what I would call it, and bolt back in there. And I'll show you guys the mount. I'm pretty sure I did get this mount from Motion Raceworks as well. Let me grab the flashlight here. This is the mount that we put in last winter. So that, or I'm sorry, cable bracket. So that's the cable handle, the billet cable handle, and the bracket for the handle. And then we made the billet bracket down at the bottom that bolts to the car. So that worked out perfect. You just throw it forward and it releases the chute. So I'm happy with the way that came out. It does seem to work perfect. All in all, I'm pretty happy with it. Definitely does stick off the back of the car good amount, but that is the minimum amount it really can because it's as close as the body as it can be without, being too close to rubbing. But I'm happy with it. I like it. Looks like it's going to work well. It was honestly easier to install than what I thought it was going to be. I kind of had some things that worked out in my favor. One being we already had the handle in there with the bracket that was already bolted up. I already ran the cable last winter, and we didn't have any rear bumper support. So all those things made it a lot easier for us to install this, but went pretty smooth. I worked on it for probably about 1.5 hours last night and probably like an hour today. So not too bad. Pretty happy with it. that's one more thing done on this. Like I said, I never planned on putting a parachute on this car. I just never planned on going that far with it. But here we are. So we've needed it for a while, and it's just become a safety issue. And like I said, I like the fact that I can just take it off, put the cable in the trunk or the hatch, and you would never know. So I really like that. I would never want a permanent parachute setup on this deal, because we do drive it on the street, and honestly, I mean, this year, perfect example, all I did this year was drive it on the street. So, and it's not a full out race car. We definitely drive this thing. So yeah, I'm happy with it. The only thing, if I was going to criticize anything, is I would have liked there to be a little bit more gap here. So we've got about a 1/4 inch, I would say. I would suggest moving this back further, so you have like 1/2 inch, maybe even 3/4 of an inch of gap there. It's never going to hit the way it is. It's fixed. It will not move. You can push the car from it. It's never going to get into that. But with this car's history, if this car was to wheelie, if it hits this, well, it's pretty easy for that to bend and get into the bumper. Now, it'd be also easy to say, well, if you go doing a wheelie that big, you got bigger problems, which is true, but I don't need more problems on top of it, because I've done big wheelies and not damaged the bumper at all. And I can kind of see this maybe bending up and chipping the paint, which I know what you guys are thinking. Well, doing a big wheelie, the bumper's dragging, you're probably going to chip the paint. Surprisingly, no. I've never chipped the paint. It just rubs this very bottom edge, so nothing that you would actually ever see has ever been damaged, knock on wood. But we don't plan on doing big wheelies. That was just one thing I seen. My other thought was, if someone bumps into it, it wouldn't be too difficult for that to get into there. Or if you're using the golf cart to push it, it's never going to get into there doing that. But if something freak happened, brakes lock up, something happens, could it bend it enough to touch? Maybe. It definitely shouldn't. It's really solid, but I would just feel better if that gap was a little bigger. But I really don't see it being an issue. It's only going to be an issue when something went wrong. If someone bumps into the back of your car, which would have to be a decent hit, or if you do a wheelie, it bends it, or say you're using a golf cart to push it, and like I said, something freak happens, brakes lock up, something there. But other than that, that would really be it. I'm really happy with it, happy the way it turned out. It's got a little bit of weight to it. I don't know what the total setup weight on this is. I guess I should have weighed that, but it's not too bad. It's definitely not too bad. I was concerned it was going to be really heavy, and it's definitely not really heavy. Definitely does have some weight, but I wish I had an exact number. Unfortunately, I don't. I'm just thinking about that right now. But we'll scale the car again some point this winter, and I can look at what it weighed last time and kind of see exactly what it is from there. But I think that'll be it for tonight. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Keep it saucy. Let me know if you guys have any questions or comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe.